What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Alex from Cyber Echo here, and today I wanted to go ahead and bring you a video on hosting, different types of hosting I have on my website, and what it means, which package is best for you, and the difference between some of them. So, so you can find this information on my website at cyberecho.org. And under hosting, if you go to hosting plans, and underneath there you go to compare different plans, you can definitely take a look. I'm going to go ahead and make this video as of August 1st, 2017, so if it seems out of date to you or it's been a while, feel free to check in and see where we're at in terms of different packages and things like that. So when we're talking about shared hosting, you have a Linux cPanel environment and a Windows environment. I want to go ahead and debunk one of the largest myths there are / questions, and that is, if I am using a Windows machine, do I need Windows hosting for my website? No. What it really comes down to is a little bit of preference, if you'd rather be working in a Windows environment or a Linux environment. I personally like the Linux environment a little bit better, but as you can see, I priced them out so that they're the same. Because dealer's choice at that point. It really boils down to a lot of what language you're going to go ahead and code your website in. If you're going to use PHP, it works for both. Consult with your. There's too many languages to list off, but ASP is usually is a Windows code. So if you're using ASP, you want to go for Windows. If you're using PHP, Linux is fine and is most common. So those are the differences. There are some other differences when it comes to permissions and how it operates and stuff like that. And another video for another time. And then there's other environments that you have, like a virtual server, and then I also have dedicated servers as well. And I'll go into later on what the difference is with those. Mainly it's power, and you're on your own with a dedicated server instead of sharing with other people. So typically the results are a little bit faster, speeds and stuff like that. But it can be a harder environment to work in for sure. So that's why I have the shared hosting. Is A, it's cost beneficial, and B, it most of the time will get the job done for everybody. Unless if you're a major corporation with a big website and stuff like that, there's really not too many reasons why people need a dedicated server. But like I said, another video for another time. So in both Windows and cPanel, you'll see that I have three packages: Economy, Deluxe, and Ultimate. I always look at this as good, better, and best, but best and good and better, those levels don't necessarily always apply. Of course, the higher you go, the faster speeds you're going to get, the more perks, things like that. But if you have just a simple website that gives information, say you're a landscaper and you don't really do too much online stuff, but you want to have some sort of online presence, there really isn't too much of a need to have an ultimate package. Short of it being on sale or something along those lines, the economy will definitely work well for you. Now let's say you are that landscaper and you're doing some forms work and you're wanting customers to contact you from your website, and you're getting a bit of traffic, and it's going to be a little bit more taxing. While the economy could probably work for you, depending on how much traffic you get and the different plugins and websites, how powerful you want the website to be and its function, you may want to go straight for the deluxe, because with the deluxe, you're going to get more power. You're gonna see a better performance overall. Oops, sorry about that. Then, let's say you are the landscaper, and not only are you doing forums online, you're doing request orders, but you're also in e-commerce, because let's say you want to sell some of the products that you're using, or maybe you have some sort of deal worked out with Black & Decker to sell, some products and all that kind of stuff. Well, if you have a store, usually, let's say you're using a WordPress site, e-commerce sites can be very taxing. I started my website out on economy just to kind of see where how far I can get with it, and it just absolutely crashed. Uploading was a nightmare. It ran slow. I was getting a lot of complaints. So I just went right for the ultimate, because you get the 1 gig of memory instead of 512. You get that premium DNS, the database, because mine is huge. This website, cyberecho.org, it's a pretty reasonable size, and it's got a lot of products on it, sure, but it's not really like the size of my CyberEchoStudios.com, where I'm partnered with Amazon. I sell a lot of products. I have a wide range, and so with that website, it definitely required the ultimate. Anything below, when I was cheating myself and the customers, and the moment I made any change to the database, and I would crash my server. So those are the big scenarios as far as why I make the change. With the economy, you get one website, and one website only. With the Ultimate and the Deluxe, like me, I've got a few different websites for a few different businesses that I'm running. So Ultimate works well for me because I can have as many websites as I want up to the limits of my resource. This is another question that I get quite a bit. If I have unlimited websites, why aren't I able to run as many as I want? And the answer is you can, but at some point you're going to run out of memory, your CPUs are going to be used up, there's many different things that can happen. The reason why I put unlimited is because everybody's site's different. Say, you have this person who just has some information websites. Yeah, they could probably easily stick 1,000 or so on there. But this guy who has a couple of stores, maybe he can only put 100. And the guy who's running large stores like me, maybe 10, 20, somewhere in there. So, those are the big differences. Let's see here. FTP users, some people are worried about how many people I can dish out FTPs to. Unless, again, you're a major corporation, you may not necessarily need unlimited. 50 will probably be more than enough. Databases. This is relatively new. Started doing this because a lot of people with those large databases, 1 gig is a pretty huge database, but if you're sharing that amongst other people, 1 gig isn't a lot depending on how many websites you have. So having an unlimited amount, whereas you're And here, if you only have one website, chances are you're not going to need multiple databases. If on this one you're the deluxe, you're running multiple websites, you're probably going to have multiple. But on here, the reason why went for unlimited was because of the fact that, again, you could have 1,000 of these, few of these, and maybe some big sites, and there's no need to, cap that. Let's see here. Some more subdomains. So yes, even though you can only have one website, you can have up to 25 subdomains. So technically you can get away with 6 sites, but or 26 sites, excuse me. But at that point, you probably want to either go here or here, and at that point, subdomains are really irrelevant. As you can see, keeping the servers up to date is definitely important. And not only keeping them up to date, but keeping the most common programs available: Drupal, WordPress, Magento, PHP, BB. Those are all really important to have. Languages supported. That's also definitely something to take a look at when selecting which hosting. Not so much when selecting which one of these levels you want to go with. Again, that more depends on what you want the site to do. But, and these are the most popular. They're not limited to just these. But you definitely want to, toggle between that and the Windows version. So in here you're going to get, these are mainly what dictate if you're going to go to Windows or Linux. I will say in the business world, a lot of big businesses are going for Linux cPanel just because it's a open environment, and it's also, in my opinion, it's older, but it's better because, it's just what most people are using. Windows, I like Windows too. It's difficult learning both at first, and, pros and cons, and mainly, how Windows does stuff compared to Linux, but it's definitely not a bad environment. So anybody entertaining Windows, I do like it. I don't use it as much as I use Linux. Another thing here that a lot of people look at is going to be your email storage. Here's the thing. Yes, you can use cPanel for email, and you don't need to buy an internet or email hosting package. But it's not as responsive, it's not as quick, in my opinion, not as secure, and you're going to be running off of POP. Well, actually, yeah, you can do IMAP as well, so that point is now gone. I forgot about making that change. But overall, workspace email does work really well, but cPanel email, if I had to rank them, I would say Exchange first, workspace email second, and last cPanel. You can definitely get away with using cPanel. I had for a long time. It's just not as great. And you can use Security or Site Lock as well to go ahead and protect your sites. So, again, these are the big differences. Databases in Windows also work vastly different. MS SQL is going to be the Microsoft version. MySQL is what Linux and Windows uses. So yeah, no, that's the differences between the shared hosting plans. Now, if we take a look at virtual server, a virtual private server, now these are somewhat going to be on a shared hosting environment. as well, meaning you have your own portal, you do have control over your own section of the server, but they are on, there are multiple people on one rack. So, excuse me, a little under the weather. Again, you can choose between Windows and Linux. Windows in this case is going to be a little bit more expensive. Big differences are going to be how many gigs of RAM do you need for the job. Not too many people need the 8 gigs, but it depends on how many sites, what type of programs you're putting on there. Some people use it for different applications, interfaces with their company, etc., etc. So, there's not too much to talk about. So, again, depends on your storage, or depends on how many gigs of RAM you need, and then the storage as well somewhat dictates it. But to be honest with you, 40 gigs might not sound like a whole lot when it comes to websites. It is more than enough. So in here you can also go ahead and select, let me start from the beginning. Self-managed. When you go for this package, you are going to get a $10 discount, but self-managed means when you boot up your server, you are going to get a DOS box, and you're going to have to install Bash or Shell, and you're going to have to start from there. What you get with managed, and this is the cost that you saw on the front page, you here are going to get cPanel, we're going to do patching, get the firewall with us, the monitoring, as well as backups. So we won't do coding or anything that necessarily has to do with your content, although if you have questions about it, we're very good at either helping you right away with answering it, or if it's something that my team doesn't really work on that much because it's content, then at that point we'll try to point you in the right direction. Fully managed. As you can see, this is expensive. Expensive being a relative term. So some people, they won't bat an eye at 150. Why would you want to do fully managed? Say you do have a web admin, but you don't have a hosting admin. This, you get your own dedicated team. Any problems with the server, administrative level, all you have to do is call. You get a special team dedicated to you 24/7, 365. It doesn't matter if you're calling on Black Friday and you need to go ahead and add some, say you need to go ahead and add something onto your site, or you need to change permissions, whatever, we're going to be here for you. We'll take care of you, and you will get that for both Linux as well as Windows. Price gets better the longer you go. Let's go back to managed. So I can tell you there's going to be some promotions going on where if you do 12 and 24 months, you're going to get a bit of a break. Let's go to dedicated server. This is essentially where you are going to be on your own server. Again, this comes down to storage as well as how much RAM you're going to go ahead and need. Starting off in the beginning, you see you have those same packages. Again, same situation. Longer you go, the better discount you're going to go ahead and get. So that is definitely important. There's really not too much to talk about because pretty much everything in VPS and dedicated hosting looks the same. It's just on one, you're not in a shared hosting environment in virtual reality per se, because you have access to your own partition section. Whereas is hosting not really, because you can reboot your server and all that kind of stuff. Again, it's a platform on a shared hosting environment, but a specific partition out for you. Dedicated server, you have the whole machine. That's yours. If you need us to reboot it, physically, then we'll go and do it and all that kind of stuff. Again, you have it for Windows and Linux. You got that 99% uptime. Again, if you guys want to take a look at any of this, cyberecho.org, O-R-G, or if you are looking for anything for your business needs, cyberechostudios.com is my other website, but that's more for gaming, computer builds, things of that nature. But I do have a business store being built as well. So, thank you guys so much for all your support. I'd appreciate it if any likes and subscribes. As promised, I am doing promotions. Anybody who subscribes onto the channel, I am doing some discount giveaways, big discounts and stuff like that for you guys. I'd appreciate any comments that you guys have, that any videos that you want, or anything that's comes to mind. And guys, keep it real, and again, have a great day. Talk to you guys later.